Hey, how's it going, It's me. You're back for another exciting installment of the Pro Vlog. In this episode we're going to be fitting the Stillen Sump to the 350Z. Noticed when I took the car off the trailer. First of all, I want to point out that I'm chuffed that I found a new way to take the car off the trailer without blocking the drive for my neighbour. Anybody else out there that builds their race cars next to their house in a residential area and you've got neighbours that are raging at you, give me a comment down below, let me know you're out there. I noticed there was a little bit of oil on the trailer and it turns out it was just leaking from a crush washer from the sump plug, but still the sump is a bit bashed and battered, so I've decided to upgrade it to a deeper sump. One of the things with this build is I want it to be reliable. By the looks of things, the engine's in good nick. I want to keep it that way. So the Stillen extended sump gives you more oil volume, which is better for keeping the temperatures down and keeps your engine healthier longer. So without further ado, let's get into it. So you can tell I'm back on the 350Z because my hands are black. Really should be wearing gloves at my age, you know, I really should have sussed that out by now. Right, you look at this. The 350 is in the workshop with the S14. Look at me, which I'm pretty chuffed because I can get started working on the 350. You know, what I really didn't want to do is have two cars basically up on axle stands. Here's this up on axle stands, look. That is a genuine Nissan oil filter. I hope that is not the original. 90,000 miles, surely it's not the original. At least somebody was using genuine parts. I'm not going to be. So other thing I'm doing is I'm taking the oil cooler out, to clean the oil cooler, to flush that out. And also, we're going to be adding some parts to the 350. I have got, this is the, let's have a look here, slave cylinder, master cylinder for the clutch. Stillen Sump. Come with me. Let's have a look at this. So, look at that. Little thermostat there. It's a little thermostatic oil filter. It's pretty cool. And you can see the sump. It's got a big dent in it, which is fair enough. I mean, it happens. A wee bit rusty. And, ooh. What's this? I'm gonna have to fix that as well. That's not good. Really naive, I thought, you know, doing the sump on this would just be a piece of cake, you know, just like 5-minute job. But there's some of the... So, let's see if you can see this. Obviously an old car, but... So, some of the bolts are like, look at that. It's nice and loose. That's fine, that's how it should be. But then some of the bolts are like... Oh, it's tight. Why? Why be like this? You know what, probably some WD-40 would help here. The slack one. The back ones are obviously protected from the weather, they're slack. I was going to rattle these out with an impact gun. Don't do that, that would not be having a good time. Oh, you fuck! Speaking of not having a good time, that one broke. so frustrating, honestly. This is my hobby. This is fun. This is unwinding after a hard day's work. Fucking bolt broke in the sump. I think it'll come out, like, it's not a big deal, but holy shit. Well, there's still oil in that sump. Trust me, kids, I'm a professional. At this point in the video, I really was meant to stop and do some film and explain that yes, I did break some bolts in the lower sump. And I suppose where the bolts were broken, I could have, in theory, put it back together without those bolts, and it probably would have held okay. But I don't want to, you know, go ahead with like bad engineering practices in my builds, especially if I'm speaking about them on YouTube. And I drilled them out. I drilled them out, tapped them to the correct size, and surprisingly I managed to do that without too much hassle. This Stillen sump kit was about 200 quid, I think it's 220 quid UK. Yeah, about 120 quid or something like that, maybe 150 quid for the standard sump to replace it, so I didn't think it was that big a deal to put on the bigger sump. So a bit I wasn't sure about was there's an extension, an aluminium extension for the oil pickup. There's no gaskets or seals that go with that, and it doesn't actually say in the instructions whether you should use a sealant or use a gasket with it. So I did a bit of careful research and I came across another kit that a different company does, and they suggest using a bit of sealant between the spacer and the oil pickup. Now you have to be very, very careful with the amount of sealant you put on it. You don't want any sealant going up into the oil pickup and into the engine, because it can block galleries, oil ports, cause you a lot of problems. So once you got the sump on, obviously put the car back in the ground, fill it up, fill the engine up with oil. It takes about 5.7 litres of oil with the sump extension on it. Now, I don't know who designed the dipstick in these 350Zs, but it's an absolute bloody nightmare to check the oil in these, and it seems to take ages. You gotta leave it a minute, because it takes a minute for the oil to get down to the sump. It seems when you pour it in, it seems to run down the dipstick and give you a false reading. Now there is other videos of people using emery paper to scratch the face of the dipstick to make it easier. I don't know if you could cut little slots in it or something to make it easier to measure the level, but if you do take your time and you do be careful, you can work it out. Obviously when you put the oil in for a start, it's spotlessly clean, so it's very difficult to see it. The kit was really easy. Well, I'm going to say it was really easy to do, but it was a pain in the arse going underneath the car. The bolts, some of the bolts were seasoned broken. Not everybody could really repair that. It should have been like an hour's job, but like any hour's job on an old Nissan, it took a good 4 hours to do. If you had a car ramp, it'd probably make it easier. Other than that, I hope you've had some kind of benefit watching this video. Thank you very much for watching right to the end. I appreciate all your views. Please hit that subscriber button. Don't cost you anything, but it means a lot to me. And I will catch you on the next video. Catch you later.